What is up, guys? Zakin here, and in today's video, I want to answer one very important question, and one question that is being asked all the time with everybody just sitting around and talking about wholesaling real estate. And the biggest question I get, and the biggest question so many people get, and a lot of people are lost, but it's how do I get started wholesaling? What do I do? Like, how do I get started? When should I get started? Where should I get started? And lastly is just how, like what is wholesaling? How can I do this? Like, what's really the plan, especially since 2023 is coming up and we really got to figure out how to get started in this business, right? And maybe you've been wholesaling for a little bit and you haven't gotten your first deal. And maybe you're asking yourself, where should I get started now? In today's video, I'm going to be answering probably the most important question a lot of beginners and a lot of people in wholesaling real estate have. It's just, how do I start? And that's what I want to break down. And really what I'm going to break down today specifically are the four big questions in wholesaling real estate: the what, when, where, and how in wholesaling real estate. What should I do for wholesaling? When should I start wholesaling? Where should I wholesale? And lastly, how should I wholesale house? We get a lot of people that have this question, and a lot of people, maybe they come back during the holidays or events with their families, and they have gatherings and they talk about wholesaling, and then you get someone intrigued and they say, that sounds cool, but like, how do I start? What do I do? When? How? Like, how do I get this info? This is going to be the video for you and for them or for anyone, right? And I like doing these little reset videos for people that are starting out in wholesaling real estate, because you get so many people hop on. We get tens of thousands of people that join freewholesaling.com that start in this business, and they want to know how to get started. And this is the video for you guys out here. And this is the video I want to do to help you learn wholesaling real estate the right way. But before I get into it, I'm jacked up. Do me a favor, make sure y'all hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, comment below your questions, and I'd love to help you guys out learn wholesaling real estate absolutely for free. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's really share how to start wholesaling real estate the right way. Let's talk about this. Let's really get into these questions, because one thing I always see, and this is a really great comment I actually saw right here, but Leon says here, let's do this. He's ready to step out of the truck. And what do you mean by that is driving trucks for a living. There's no problem, no shame in that. It's a great way to make an income and a living. But somebody like that is working full-time being a truck driver, that's a lot of work. And it's a lot harder to do a lot of other tactics in wholesaling real estate. And there are some tactics in wholesaling that are actually a little easier to do. So that's why in this video, I really want to talk about every type of wholesaler out here and everyone starting in this business and really into it. So really what we're going to do is really give a one-page business. If I had one piece of paper and I can just write to anybody a business plan for them and be like, all right, here you go after it. This is what I want to do. And so we're going to sort of create a one-page business plan with you guys today for wholesaling real estate. And thought it'd be a pretty interesting video. I think that'll be a video that help as many people as possible and really give the value that the people really need in wholesaling. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let me know where everyone's from. Love to know, and love to help the people out. So let's get into it. So we got the questions, right? What, when, where, and how for wholesaling real estate. So let's sort of talk about what, right? So this is pretty simple, and I like to keep wholesaling real estate very simple for pretty much everyone. But like, what is wholesaling? And wholesaling is pretty much a very simple three-step process. And you can get really complicated with this business, and you can also make it pretty simple and easy, right? And it's really depending on which way you look at the business and which way you want to view it. In all honesty, I've always seen, but wholesaling real estate really comes down to three simple things. Finding an ugly house with somebody that wants to actually sell that ugly house. We call it a motivated seller. So that's step one. And step two is just writing up a contract, right, to purchase the property. And then step three is basically selling that contract for profit, for money, right? And everyone knows this, but you can make 10, 15, 20, 25, $30,000, right? Like, it works. This is an amazing business for it, and it is 100% possible, and it's 100% something that can happen and will happen. But the truth is, in wholesaling real estate, so many people really want to complicate this process. There's gurus in the way, trying to confuse you to sell these massive, crazy, insane courses. And the truth is, you don't have to buy all these courses and do all these crazy stuff to get it done, right? Like, I think so many wholesalers really think they have to do all this stuff, and really that's not the point. That's not what we're trying to do, and that's not what this business is for. But really, wholesaling real estate really comes down to those three key components and those three things. And the next question here is like, okay, so if you know what wholesaling real estate is, and that's a very big, broad overview for so many people in wholesaling, but like, think about it. Wholesaling real estate is actually a very simple process. If you can find people that want to sell the property for very cheap and they have an ugly type house, that's probably why they're most likely going to want to do it. That's going to lead you to it. And really, these three things are really the three phases of wholesaling. So we have marketing, we have acquisitions, which is writing the contract, and then we have dispositions, which is just selling the contract. Pretty simple, but like, that's how you get started in wholesaling, right? And then the next part here is like the when part of it, right? Like, when. So when should I start wholesaling? Like, when should I actually go and do it? Like, what time during the day? What should I do? All these things. Honestly, I've always said this, and I'll probably continue to keep saying this, but really, if you want to figure out how much time you should put in this business, it's as much time as you possibly can, right? And I always tell people, create a time budget and create a money budget. Those are going to be the most important things you can do possibly in wholesaling real estate to figure out when you should wholesale, right? And the real question is, it's like, how much time should you put in, right? And so I'll give an example. We had somebody on our Facebook group say that they can't cold call, they can't drive for dollars, they can't do any of these things because they're a full-time student, and that is their biggest issue, and that they actually can't wholesale because they're a full-time student. Pretty much what they were implying. They have no money and they have no time. And really, it's a very fascinating thing when I see that, because for every type of person that I see complain that they're in college full-time and they can't wholesale because they don't have a car and it's so much work in college. And then you see another person who, they make $250,000 in college wholesaling, right? And I'm kind of mean, but like I'm not a person for excuses, and I never have and I never will be. Excuses will get you nowhere in life. And that is a hard truth a lot of people have to understand. And so I just kind of told my story to that person, right? Like I took 16 credits a semester, cold calling 5 hours a day, wholesaling an extra hour or two, and I had pretty good grades. And it was kind of funny, but like it's the honest truth. I was virtually wholesaling, working pretty much 6, 7, 8 hours a day, still going to the gym like 30, 45 minutes. And then on top of that, I was doing schoolwork and work. Like guys, I hate to say this, but like either you make time or the time will make you. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. And I graduated from UF in 18 months. And that's because, I worked my butt off doing it, but like I was able to wholesale real estate full time because I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars with that. And I was still able to graduate from college, and I was able to actually do it online. Not online, but like I was able to take the test online. They thought I lived in Gainesville, but I wasn't. But I got the degree in 18 months, right? Because I was taking 16 credits a semester. It's insane. I think a full one 12. So I was taking like 1.5. I was taking an extra course every semester, and I was still wholesaling, right? And no, I did not have an A+ average, but like I was a solid B. And if I put the hours I really had to into it, I could definitely get straight. I was straight A's. I think my first high school was easy, but like when I started wholesaling, I started like not caring about the grades and things like that. But the truth is, like if I was getting straight B's, and all I needed was B's to keep my full ride scholarship, so that's all I really did. But like y'all got to understand, it's like I decided that making money wholesaling real estate was more important than getting an extra 0.1 or 0.2 on my GPA, and that led me to more money. And the one thing I can tell everybody is the degree doesn't care what your GPA is. It's just a degree. All right. Like I don't care you graduate summa cum laude or whatever. Honestly, if you're going to get a job, it doesn't even matter, but it's just a piece of paper, and it doesn't care what you cares that you graduated. Okay. And so time and money budget. When I was in college, that's what I decided. I decided I'm going to pour my time in as effectively as possible, what could have the best ROI or return on investment for myself. So would it be worth not making any money in wholesaling and getting an A, or would it be worth only putting maybe an hour and a half into schoolwork, and it's crazy, but I did, and just get a B or like B+ in the class and keep all my scholarship. And I was able to pour an extra 6 hours into wholesaling and changing my life. I did the ROI assessment for myself. A lot of you guys have to do that for yourself with your time and money and budget, right? Because get less sleep, spend more time wholesaling doing that, get more sleep, feel better, maybe wholesale even better. Like, what do you have to do? Should this marketing be here? Should this marketing? You guys have to do the decision yourself. But the question is, how much should I work for wholesaling? Every waking hour will give you better chances of getting a wholesaling deal, right? Every waking hour you have gets you a better chance of just making money in wholesaling, right? So of course I want you to put more hours into marketing, talking to sellers, doing things, but it's ultimately up to you which one, because if you have a full-time job, kids, family, I get it. But I can tell you is the more time you're willing to put in, the better chance you are going to be successful at wholesaling. So I've always told everyone, I got 5 to 10 hours. I think everyone can 5 to 10 hours a week. I know it's crazy. But like, I think if you cut a lot of your social media intake, a lot of your entertainment, hate to say it. I mean, still, I was working like a maniac. I never missed a Dolphins game. But that was pretty much my only entertainment. No Netflix, no Amazon. I watched my Dolphins game for like, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, on Sundays. But like, that's pretty much the entertainment I got. The rest I was like work, school, work, school, work, school, work. Like that's it. And honestly, I think so many people get that confused. And if you really look at your screen time on your phone, you spend a lot of time doing stuff. I still spend a lot of time doing stupid stuff. But really, if you got 5 to 10 hours, less than $200, so that college kid, right? Either you drive for dollars or you pull government lists and cold call them. That's really I hate to say it, but like that's really one of your only strategies. And I don't like putting people in corners, but either in this business you can pour a lot of time in it, you're gonna do well, or you pour a lot of money and you can do it, but you're still gonna have to put some time in. And unfortunately, the case is when you have not a lot of time, not a lot of money, things get a lot more dire and drastic. And so drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars, and probably government lists, I'd probably stick to the probates first and foremost. That's going to lead you to the best success with that little time and money. And so the question is like when, and that's how you should do it too, right? Once you start getting above 10 hours, obviously the drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars, if that's in your budget, you can do that, right? But I think you should be cold calling at that point, because when you're cold calling, you're getting better at talking to sellers, your communication skills skyrocket, and you actually get better at having conversations inspections and closing sellers and marketing and just getting deals done. That's going to lead you to the best success possible. Now, the next question here is virtual or local? Should I stay local in my market for wholesaling real estate or should I go virtual? And I get this question, should I stay or should I go? And it's always a fun one because a lot of people think it's this complicated, crazy quadratic equation that's going to change everything and change the world. And this is the most important thing ever. And honestly, it's not. Okay. I think a lot of wholesalers feel like it's everything that they do this or that or all this thing, but really it's not. And I can tell you first and foremost that I have one really simple rule if you should go virtual or local, because it might be a shocker to you, but like I keep wholesaling really simple. I really don't complicate it. I don't make it this crazy, insane thing that's nuts. I keep wholesaling super stupid simple because wholesaling real estate is super stupid simple. And if you keep wholesaling real estate in a really easy format for you to understand, you have simple rules, you can simply make a lot of money. And that's the point of it, right? So honestly, so if your ARV, your average ARV, so an ARV is your after repair value. So if the average property value in your city or county is below 500,000 and your county's population is over 50,000, I'd probably tell you to stay local. That doesn't make it a great market, but it's a decent enough market where you should probably stay local, where the government lists drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars, code violations, all these things are pretty good to go. Like I think you'll do decent and there should be no excuse not to do deals in that market. Now, how do you find ARV, right? It's a big question I always get. Just search your county or your city's median home price Zillow. So if I want to go out here, find out what my ARV is if I live in Memphis, right? So you can do two ways. So Memphis is in Shelby County. So I can search the Shelby County, Tennessee. Literally go to google.com, search Shelby County, Tennessee, space median home price Zillow. And then Zillow will tell you what the home price averages in Shelby County, or you can put Memphis, Tennessee, median home price space Zillow. Pop up, it'll tell you 125, 100,000, whatever it's going to be, right? That's probably going to be your best bet finding that. And then your population, you just search your county's population, Shelby County, Tennessee population should pop up pretty simple. The reasoning behind this is because if your average ARV is below 500,000, you got to understand the higher price of a home, the less likely a seller is to take a discount. Are you willing to take a 10% discount on a $5 burger? So are you willing to pay $5 for a burger where at home you could probably make it for $4.50? That's a 10%. I'm paying a 10% premium. Yeah, I'll do. So it's always funny. So if I'm selling something and it's $5 and someone's negotiating, they're like, I'll buy your burger for $4.50 and it costs you $1. It's like $4.50, $5, whatever. Like that's not a lot. Like proportionally, you're only giving down 50 cents. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's 10%, right? Now, 10% on a $5 million home, going from $5 million to $4.5 million. Most people can't stomach $500,000 going down by that price. And that's because human beings are really weird. We don't understand percentages as well as numbers. And so that's why on stock, people are like, the Dow is down 1,000 points. Oh my gosh. And it's like, it's down 0.25%. Like people, numbers drive people insane. Like if you just look at headlines, people get stressed. Oh my gosh, the Dow's down 1,000 points. It's like, that's like 0.5%. Okay. And now if they say the Dow's down 2% today, people are like, whatever, 2,000 points. They go nuts because human beings are really weird with numbers. And I've read every sales psychology book you could possibly think of for real estate sales, all these things. And human beings are weird. And the name of the game in wholesaling real estate is to get properties under contract for the best discounts possible. And to get the best discounts possible, you're going to have to get real estate at cheaper real estate. So if I want to get a 30% discount on a house, there's a zilch chance pretty much I'm going to get that on a $2 million home. Happens, but very, 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 very rare. It's like me winning the lottery to a point. Me getting a 30% discount on a house, 150 grand, I do it pretty much every day, right? Especially in virtual wholesaling. And so because of human beings and how they work, we know statistically in wholesaling real estate, you want the best success, you want to have cheaper houses. Now there is a Goldilocks zone because you have to understand the cheaper real estate. So houses I'm doing deals that are, the average house is worth 100,000, 120,000. The most I'm going to make per deal is 5, 10, 15,000. Now in my local market where the average house is about 400, 430, it's a lot harder for me to get big discount, but the average deal I'm doing is 30, 40, 30, 35, 40,000. Now I don't do as many deals as someone in Shelby County or if I'm doing virtual wholesaling in Knoxville. But what I can tell you is the extra profit makes it up. So it's all a give and take, right? It's easier to get deals. You do more deals, but there's some markets it's hard to get deals, but you make more per deal. It's really zero sum. And I really enjoy that part of wholesaling where it's a give and take. What you get, what is a con equals out with a pro. And that happens in most markets. Now there's some markets where the cons outweigh the pros. And this is when your average ARV is too high and your population is too low. So this is why ARV is important. Now, why is population important? Population is important because if there's not a lot of people living in an area, it's not going to be desirable for a cash buyer. Now, a cash buyer is someone who's buying a contract. Now, why would I want to sell my contract to a lot of people, right? Because the more people are willing to buy contracts, the more cash buyers, the more someone's willing to buy it. If there's more demand for your supply, which is a contract for cheap, there's more demand, prices go up. Why do you think toilet paper shot up up like crazy because everyone is wanting to buy it like crazy. And so once all the cash buyers for toilet paper went up, TP prices went up, right? Same thing. So but there's also more wholesalers, so it's a yin and a yang. But population is decent enough. That means there's a decent enough economy surrounded there. There's a lot of good rentals. If I go try to fix and flip a property, it's going to be easier for me to sell it. There's more buyers to sell it. That makes it a lot more attractive to a cash buyer. So if your population for your county is under 50,000, there's going to be a lot less cash buyers, and it's going to be a lot harder to sell your deal. Might be easier to find deals, but it's going to be a lot less easier to do it. So that's why I want your county population to be over 50,000. So the synopsis here is stay local. If you can get properties under contract for cheap, which is 500 grand right here, right? Under there. And then you can actually get a population over 50,000. So get properties for good discounts cheap. And you also have a ton of cash buyers. So if you get good deals, good, number one, then you get good deals and you get a lot of buyers, double boom, double awesome, double great. Now, if your ARV is above 500, we're talking 6, 7, 8, 9 million, and your population's low, it gets a lot tougher to wholesale houses. I'm just being honest. And usually with lower populations, prices actually are down. But there's some markets like this, and this is an and/or situation. So if your average house is 800,000, but you live in a population of 1 million, it doesn't negate it, right? If you live in LA, not a good wholesaling market because the ARV is too high. Everyone's sell for too high still. Now, population too low, but prices are too low. You can get them for good deals, but here's the big issue. There's not a lot of cash buyers. Now, you can try to find a cash buyer, low population. It's tougher to make some good, decent income and actually get a ton of deals. So I think a lot of wholesalers out here get really stressed out over that, right? And they get very confused. And honestly, like you have to understand that about your market, right? And so I get a lot of questions. And I actually, the amount of questions I get sometimes, it's kind of funny, but like a lot of people try. But let me pop this question up. So I got one question here, hey man, is Georgia a good wholesaling market, right? And I get questions like a blanket, like an entire state is good. Guys, real estate doesn't work by state. And really where you live, it's cool to be in a state, but a state's just a geographic area. Real estate is city specific. So we'll do a couple ones, right? So if I live in, let's say Auburn, Georgia, which is like 12,000 people in it, it's not going to be the best market. Okay. And if I live in all the way somewhere random in Georgia, like somewhere crazy off kilter area, probably not gonna be a lot of people, not a good wholesaling market. But if I live in Atlanta, it's a lot of people, a lot of buyers. It's a great market. Same thing in Florida. If I want to go and live in Loxahatchee, Florida, no. West Palm, great. So it's like, West Palm's decent. I'm not gonna call it insanely great, but like that's how it works. Don't go by state, go by city. Don't say my state's good so I can wholesale the entire one. Like New York State, for example. New York City, not ARV's too high, not a good wholesaling market. We talk about Rochester, Syracuse, upstate, amazing. And so does that make New York State good for no, it's the area, right? And Albany, Central, that's decent too. But like y'all got to understand that it's about the city or the county, not the state. And if you understand that, you have to do it. And then states have laws and things that make it a little more difficult, crazier, but you should be fine. Other question I always get is wholesaling illegal, right? I've talked to a lot of lawyers, a lot of legal scholars, a lot of people, representatives, members of Congress. I don't talk about this too much. I talk to members of Congress about wholesaling real estate. Find another guru that does that. No one. And I mean, Congress doesn't do much. State legislators, they have some power, but really wholesaling real estate's fine in every single state, right? Now, there's Illinois is the only one that has a weird law, and they have a law written so poorly that it's, in my opinion, unconstitutional. And because it's unconstitutional, no one's ever enforced that law. And that's, my lawyer's even going to be mad for me saying that, but I have not found one case of somebody enforcing a law like that they've done. But hey, I could be wrong. But what I could tell you is Illinois would probably get a license. Outside of that, you should be fine. So that's kind of my spiel on it. Now, the last question is, how do I get started? Zach, how do I pull a government list? How do I cold call? How do I SMS text blast? How do I do all these things? Find cash buyers. All these things. And if I had to break down and just sit down, okay, and I had to sit down with you one-on-one in a room, let's say in the studio right now with me, you're across from me, you're watching me right now, this camera is you, and you say, Zach, I'm gonna sit down here, and Zach, your life depends on it. In the period that you're sitting down, and when you get up, that's all you have, and you have to teach me how to get my first deal. And if my not life dependent on that's too drastic. If the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, if I can get a deal in under 30 days, but you only have until the period you're sitting. So if I had to sit down and tell you everything you know about wholesaling, it would probably be 12 hours. And I would do it for the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl because that's how crazy I am. And Fins Nation would respect me for it. But if I had to sit down and guarantee you get a deal, I'd probably take me 12 hours to sit down, train you, hammer you, write notes, all this stuff. That being said, it would take me probably 12 hours from start to finish to show you how to wholesale real estate perfectly the right way, sales, negotiations, contracts, everything. I do not have 12 hours today to go do that for you. And it's a tragedy. Everyone's crying. Everyone wants me to do a 12-hour live stream on how to wholesale from start to finish the entire thing. But I do not have 12 hours today to do this. I'm very sorry. The second best thing we got is 12 hours is only for one deal. Like this isn't even like crazy stuff, right? We got freewholesaling.com. Now, freewholesaling.com, wholesaling.com, or rewholesaling.com is my free real estate wholesaling course. We have over 50,000 active members that are logging in every single week on that, right? So we don't do how many people signed up anymore. I just like to go after active members because it shot past 50,000 a very long time ago. I don't know if I should say 100,000 yet, but I'll do 50,000 people actively every single week, logging on the website, learning wholesaling, and going after it, right? And it is hands down the largest active course, mentorship, anything for wholesaling. And it's for everyone. Oh, geez. This is when Zach sells me a course. He wants my wallet. He wants my money. He's going to take everything away from me. The $3,000 discovery call is coming out. The guru Zach is back. Never was here, but the guru is back, is here. We knew it all along. This is all webinar in disguise. He's going to sell. I have nothing to sell. You can't even put your credit card in. You can't put any payment for freewholesaling.com. All you do is create an account and you log in so it can track your progress. So you act like you're actually in a real paid guru stinking stupid course. And that's the reason I do it. I make you guys create a login so you guys can track your progress. And so there's no excuses for you to see everything. There's a lot of videos in there, right? There's a lot of training. So you have to track your things and treat it like it. Guys, I treat it like you actually had to pay $1,000 and it just you log in and just brings you in there. So I pretend I make it the same exact method of you spending $1,000 on the course, because I just being in true honesty, I'd probably, if I was going to be a guru, like no jokes aside, I'd probably sell that course for $1,000 and I would get a lot of people signing up for it today. My best guess is I could probably get 10 to 15 purchases every single day if I made that course, just with the following we have, easily every day, but I make it free. And instead of that, what are the numbers on it? If I'm getting divided by 30, instead I go from 10, probably, I would say we have had days where it's been 1,000 signups in a day, but probably 500-600 signups a day at freewholesaling.com. 500 to 600 people go to freewholesaling.com to sign up, not even on top of their active members. And so that being said, it sounds like a crazy amount, but like I go from 10 people joining it to 500. That's pretty good. And so really knowing that you're getting $1,000 course for free, and I'm not losing money, but like I could sell it for it, but I don't. Wholesaling real estate is amazing. And I give you that power for free. I give you $1,000. So if you want to learn how to wholesale real estate, how to wholesale houses, most people on here are signed up. Just go to freewholesaling.com, marketing, ARV, acquisitions, dispositions, everything. And then from there, you're good to go. And then I would probably implore everybody to go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, my mastermind group. So that's an insane group too. So it's basically a Facebook group where you can ask any of your questions on wholesaling. And we have 82,000 wholesalers that will just help you out. And I get asked all the time, like, Zach, you should make a Discord. The Discord's okay, but like I've never been. A lot of people know Discord, right? The problem is the amount of people that would be on that Discord would be disgusting. And having 82,000 people in Discord is just too much. Like that, I think people can understand what that is. All right, a 82,000 person Discord would be insane. A Facebook group, you can handle it, right? It's kind of like a tiny like Reddit thing, right? Even the wholesale real estate Reddit's like 7,000 people, and that's insanely high. An 82,000 person Facebook group, which we do have, Wholesaling Houses for Real, is insane, right? And that's where a lot of people can get the best help. I can get scammers out of there. I can really filter things out. A Discord, I can't, and I ain't having no mods or anything on there. So yeah, I just think a lot of wholesalers think that, but yeah, no, I ain't doing an 82,000 person Discord. But yeah, and I've been asked every single time to make one. We're just got a Facebook group. We're gonna keep it at that, and that's good to go. Okay, so what's the name of the Facebook group? It's called Wholesaling Houses for Real. Honestly, if you just search wholesaling and go by groups, it'll probably be the first one to pop up. But it's Wholesaling Houses for Real because I wholesale real estate for real. Or if you want, just go in the description of the YouTube channel and I'll be on there. But yeah, so it's Wholesaling Houses for Real, and I'll put that actually in the link for everyone. But yeah, so the second one right here, Wholesaling Houses for Real. That's my Facebook group. We are 82,000 people strong, and it's insane the amount of people on there too. But yeah, so I would go there, and the reason why I tell everyone to go there is, first of all, you get your questions asked, comment. You can actually be in a community of like-minded wholesalers that aren't brainwashed from gurus and just generally help. And I only have 3 rules in the group. This is why it's the best wholesaling group, and everyone says it is. There's no selling allowed in the group. All right, no selling a course, no selling information. Information cannot be sold. It has to be given like a true mastermind. Nobody walks into a mastermind and says, I'm gonna give that information for $50. No, stupid. Okay, no selling of information. Number 2 is no gurus allowed, and I occasionally have to block somebody. Number 3 is just value. You just gotta give value. You gotta give more than you receive. And there's a lot of people that want to respect. There's a lot of people on here that just want to receive and not give, and it's absolutely terrible. So I tell you guys, in wholesaling real estate, keep it legit, keep it 100, and do it well. I had one person that talked some mad smack about me in the group today. I was like, and I want everyone to understand, if you bully me, like, I don't care if you bully me. If you bully somebody else, I'm gonna have a problem with it. But like, straight up tell me that I'm a broke guru, and I just like block them, right? And so we do block a decent amount of people in that group, when you actually go out here, try to sell a course and you bully somebody, it's terrible, but bigotry will not be allowed in the group. But yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of great info. One really important thing I could say in wholesaling house is for real. So you just go to freewholesaling.com, the link's on there. People post their wins. And I think that's really important. So that's pretty much it on how to start in wholesaling. That's how I would start. But go to freewholesaling.com, it's all in there. And that's how I get started. One-page business plan, starting out wholesaling. But